Whoa.
Whoa.
Look at that thing. I gotta hear this thing run. Yes! Jag Master! Hell yeah! Let's go!
Oh, buddy.
Welcome back to Stay Tuned. I'm Tony Angelo, and today we're going to get my Aston Martin V12 powered Foxbody Mustang fired up and running for the first time ever. Let's go. So this is one of our most anticipated projects. I got this motor from my buddy Mike Knapp 2 years ago. We got it jammed into this Foxbody Mustang, made mounts for it, got a QuickTime bell housing and a T56, and it's kind of been stalled ever since, basically because clutch and flywheel was holding us up, a super custom setup, and we needed to find a computer that could run all 12 injectors and coils sequentially. We have finally done all of that, and we have a plan to get this thing fired up. This motor is a 5.9 liter Aston Martin V12 that was made from like the late 90s until the early 00s. Actually, they kept making it in like late into the teens with a couple little changes to it, but not much. So this motor is a workhorse. It's an animal. It is got, how many valves is 12 times 4?
48.
48 valves in it, 4 cams, 5.9 liters, making, eventually these motors made 450, 460 horsepower. It should be an absolute animal, sound insane, and I'm so pumped about it. And people have been asking, and I'm so excited that you guys are stoked on this project as I am, and it's finally time to make this thing scream. All right, so we figured we should probably spin this motor over. We've never even tried it, right?
Yeah.
We have it up in the air. I don't even know if it spins. There was some talk about it being somewhat disassembled by, come on, baby. That didn't move.
I
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna break that bolt. Okay. Not a great start to the week so far. Okay, it's not spinning. We're gonna start taking it apart, I think. Okay. We're gonna get this sucker fired up, I think. Let's go. Yeah, it didn't want to spin there. You know, we could have just put a V8 in this thing. Mm-hmm. They make them. Ford makes a V8, bolts right in here. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna put some flywheel bolts in this puppy and try to spin it from this end and see what it looks like. Because so far, it doesn't spin. And I'm not an engine doctor, but every good running motor I've ever seen,
Spins.
it spins. They spin. Pistons, rotaries, 4 cylinders, V8s. They do one thing in common. They spin.
There you go.
I'm gonna tighten it all the way up.
Oh,
And I'm gonna
okay.
I'm gonna lean on this bar like
That's very scary.
it owes me money. I'm
Very
gonna
scary.
Pull on it like it's.
If you break that bolt off in the back of the crank, we are in real bad shape.
What kind of shape do you think we're in now? Without a motor that spins.
Here.
So we bought a flex plate on eBay for the ring gear, and then we bought another one for some reason. So we have a spare.
Yep. Okay.
Get the biggest pry bar we've got.
The biggest pry bar we got.
This guy's better.
Okay. I'm gonna stand downwind of this so I don't take it in the mouth. Oh, I see what you're doing.
It's like you hear what you're saying, right?
I do.
Okay, good.
Just talking about the pry bar.
Got it. A little bit.
I saw that.
All right, why don't we, you wanna pull the plugs?
Yeah.
We'll pull the plugs out, put a little bit of acetone and ATF in each one, let it sit, that eats carbon, breaks down rust, and then maybe we get this thing spinning.
Pizza time?
Sure. Need some taking those off, Barb.
I'm doing it.
I'm pretty sure, 90% sure this is the folding table we used last week when my dad spray painted the Valley pan and, what were those?
The logos.
Oh, yes. The logos for his LS Classic setup.
Yes. Intake 1, off.
All right, so our plan is get the intakes off, get the coils out, plugs out, and we will lay in a mixture of ATF and acetone and let it sit. while we murder some beautiful Pennsylvania pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
There's one. 12 is a lot of cylinders. Have we talked about this yet?
So many.
Like if you had to buy a set of coils, that's a lot of coils.
Yeah.
How's your side going? My side's going good.
You gotta pull the rubber piece on the bottom.
I'm trying.
Doing all right.
Nope.
It's because they're technically Ford coils, and I've got that touch. Oh, that's what it is. Here we go.
Yeah, there's one.
Hey!
Did you get them all? Oh, you do this other side. I'll get the plugs out. You do that.
Deal. Annihilated this one, huh?
Nah. Could have been anybody. Maybe that was you. Who knows?
It's just me and him that work here.
Nope. Zach, that could have been Zach. It's been a long time. So we built headers for this thing. We built mounts. We got the QuickTime bell housing. There's a transmission mount, but we've never actually, I guess, really dug into this motor. So here we go. How's that first plug look?
It looks like, honestly, it's a little rusty, but it looks like it's barely ran.
All right, so this is the deal with this engine. My buddy Mike Knapp, who is one of the owners of Englishtown Raceway Park, his dad had a connection with Ford, and he would get a bunch of pre-production and test motors. Ooh. And he wound up with a bunch of modular Fords in the late 90s, and this Aston Martin V12, and he just put it on a pallet, never knew what to do with it, and eventually said, hey, you have terrible ideas, and you like to build all sorts of random stuff. Why don't you take this Aston Martin motor and put it in something? Anytime anybody offers you a V12, you take it. So I took it. I've looked on the oil filter. It says test only. I think it's straight from Ford. I think this only saw dyno time. Except now looking at the condition of the motor, the back of these valves are absolutely crusty and hammered. So I don't know where we stand here. This might be a lose the shop. If we don't get this motor working, we're gonna lose the shop. But we might, because I'm not buying another V12. I don't think these are cheap. How do we get here? We're gonna have to fill all this junk up and try to scrape, like we'll blast it out, clean them, blast them out, clean them. I'm not pulling out 60 valves or whatever. Some of them look okay. Some of the stems look pretty gargled up, gnarled up, burgled up, just straight. Give me a British word for up. Probably like
straight rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish, and put them in the bin.
Not good news under the bonnet here.
Yeah, nothing good here is happening.
Nice, dude.
To the.
Those valves are shaking, not stirred.
All right.
Nice. Again.
All right, so I'm going to use 1 part ATF, 1 part acetone to make a pretty awesome rust killer, carbon killer.
That's a beautiful color.
Yeah, it's nice. Mix it up. It's probably going to eat through this plastic. It's a good sign. If you put this in a stock motor, it will help free it up. It eats the rust.
It's going to eat that container.
Carbon. What?
It's going to eat that container.
I know. I'm going to get a metal one.
Here.
Got something?
Yeah.
And I've got this 6 Speedway sprayer. I'm going to start with this. Fill it up. I would just put it in the plug holes, but we're going to need to spray the backside of these valves and try to blast as much crap off them as we can.
That thing's cool.
Yeah. It's like a laser beam. Now, this isn't like what you want to do, but at this point, this is what we have to do.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
These are not like, available engines, I would say.
Yeah, I have $0 into this engine, so we're going to try to revive it because the idea of getting a 48 valve job sounds expensive, very expensive. So I'm just going to blast the backside of it. I think part of the reason the motor is stuck, valve stems are pretty crusty, but this stuff works wonders. Is it going to go into the cylinders? Yes.
Is it going to burn
kinda want it
immediately
there
off
anyway.
when you send it to 8,000? Yes.
Yeah. Is this the best way to deliver this?
To deliver?
Probably not, huh?
That's not what I was thinking, but I do also like that.
Yeah, but this is instant gratification.
Gratification. I love it. That burns. I can feel the rust coming off of my hands.
Yeah, your hands won't rust. Or grow fingernails for a while, but that's okay.
Those aren't
A little bit in each one.
They're not fantastic either. Yeah, so this is the first exhaust valve, and it is crusty also.
Yeah, but not as bad.
Not as bad.
I'm assuming the intake maybe
This one's open.
sat without the runners on it, and
Yeah.
they just sat with water.
Yeah,
Those. Let me see another one.
I'm gone. This is number 3. The other one was open. That's not terrible. There you go. That one's open.
Much better. Those we're gonna send, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to yank this valve cover off, and we'll get our first look at this. Whatever's behind this thing. Look at these camshafts and the valves and the lifters and whatever. Oh, there's a bunch in the middle. That's my problem right there. Got these metal rail.
That's cool. Oh. Boy, oh boy.
Oh, thank God. Thank goodness, y'all. Now that
That's what I'm talking about.
looks pretty good.
Don't look on this side.
That looks awesome. The top side of the head looks amazing. Camshafts look great. The followers, the run, like the lifters, everything looks brand new. The springs, awesome on this side. So that's really,
Reassuring.
really reassuring. Feels good. I'm gonna just hose this down with some motor oil, and we're gonna try to spin this motor over. That's good. That's good.
That feels good. I'm gonna get oil.
All right. All right, so we have got the ATF mixture in the cylinders. We've got all the plugs out. We sprayed all the intake valves, which were shockingly gross and crusty. Most of that junk hopefully went in the air and into Barb's lungs and not into the cylinders.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, is it in there? Yeah. Cam, valve train stuff looks great. It's been sitting in there for 20 minutes or so in the cylinders and in the valve trains, in the valves. So we're gonna start just rocking it back and forth and see if I can get this motor freed up.
Hang on. I'll get another one for the other side.
What'd you say? If it is piston rings,
Is that doing the thing?
it's moving. It's getting tight. I'm gonna go back and forth for a little bit. What are you doing?
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back and forth. If the piston rings are stuck on, it is moving now. But you don't want to just blast through it. We're gonna move it back and forth for a while because it's getting stuck. Yeah, right there it gets kind of stuck. Yeah. Just gonna ease into it. Well, it moves nice there.
Yeah, probably got a ridge.
Yeah, so I'm assuming there was some kind of rusty ridge on the piston rings that kind of got sealed up to one of the cylinders, but we're gonna just try to break right through it. That ATF mixture is gonna break that carbon down and work magic for us. I don't know what it would cost to buy another Aston Martin V12, and we're gonna do our best to not find out. It moves beautifully here, so we're getting somewhere. I think I could probably go all the way around until we hit that ridge again, but it's good. That's a good look. Something. And obviously we're gonna, starting to pump some stuff out. I was gonna say, obviously we're gonna get as much of that junk out of the cylinders as we can. As the pistons come up, they're gonna start pushing it out. I'm gonna grab that drain pan, Barb.
Yeah.
But sooner than later, we get it to spin all the way around a couple times. We'll blow everything out as best we can. Suck everything out, blow it out, and then maybe put a starter on it and let it spin at some RPM and see what happens after we prelude the motor. You know, this thing was built with like the most high-tech, brilliant British engineers trying to like make this thing, so I know we're just
Two morons
two
dumping.
idiots in a barn in Pennsylvania are like, just push it past the rust spots, it'll go. I love it. Good? Mm-hmm. Is it all rolling?
Yep.
Sick. Yeah?
Yep.
Rock and roll. Awesome. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, we've got this thing spinning all the way around. Barb's just turning off the front of the crankshaft, which is a little 17, probably a 10 mil bolt, so that feels like not a lot of drag. You're getting full revolutions. Awesome. Stoked. Also, whew.
Yeah. Gee.
Pizza time. Barb is making a mess over there. We're gonna celebrate getting this motor freed up with a couple of Pennsylvania pies. Cool, let's have a look at these puppies. We got here, Barb.
That is a wood-fired margarita with broccoli rub.
Yes, I would like to eat it. Number one.
That's good. You are gonna.
Classic. Over here, half pep. Good crunch. Listen. Oh man, I'm gonna crush that. As you know, stay tuned. We call it a pizza team with a racing problem. If you want to just watch, like, and subscribe, that's super cool. If you want to do a little extra to support the channel, as people have asked. Again, no pressure. We appreciate absolutely everybody that supports the channel. But if you want to, you can buy us a pie. There's a link right here and a link in the description. Go for it. We appreciate it. This pie was donated by Robert Bailey. We appreciate you, buddy. And I'm gonna dig in.
Let's get it. Give me that broccoli rub.
Look at that. Look at it stand.
Yep.
Delicious. All right, Barb's got the valve covers back on. They look a ton better. The motor's freed up. I am just giving the plugs a quick scrub. Could we replace these? Probably, but 12 is a lot of spark plugs to buy. It's not really the point of this project. So I'm hitting a little brake clean. They just have a little crust on them. They're not gonna be too bad. Drop these puppies in and see what disaster we find next. Barb ran out for a minute to do dad stuff. I'm gonna get the intakes back on this puppy. But you can see we have just made such a huge difference in getting this thing cleaned out. We have blown out the cylinders, spark plug holes, intake ports, basically everything. So I'm feeling a ton better about the fact that this might actually run. We're getting much closer to getting the V12 fired up. I'm super stoked. We've got one giant hurdle to figure out. That is, how do we install these two dual drive-by-wire GM-style throttle bodies that are affordable and very available onto our British V12 engine. Now this came with tiny throttle body elbows that probably fit fine in the actual DB7 or Vantage, but do not work with this strut tower that's right in the way of the Foxbody Mustang. And we've got a perfect solution, and it's something that's gonna kind of change the way we do stuff here at Stay Tuned forever. So I'm gonna show you. So Stay Tuned has jumped into the 21st century with a proper 3D printer, and it's today's sponsor of this video is Bamboo Labs. They sent over their X1C unit. This thing is super powerful, super versatile, and I don't know anything about 3D printing, and I was able to immediately print a bunch of stuff. It is a total game changer. I am so pumped. We've wanted one for so long. Barb comes from the world of design, rapid prototyping, all that stuff, and has wanted something like this forever, and we finally got our hands on one, and it's been amazing, even in the short time we've had it. We got this thing and immediately printed, boom, right off the bat. You can just go boop, 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 and print a bunch of preset stuff. This is a scraper to get stuff off of the bed. I then immediately, because I'm a dad, printed this really fun dinosaur puzzle that if you get one of these things, you have to make. You can turn it right into a cool little dinosaur. I built that with one of my daughters over the weekend. We also printed up this really cool metric bolt gauge that helps us tell us what size bolts are, and we made a sweet R8 collet organizer that we can use with our favorite tool, the Bridgeport. Super cool, but what's the best about this thing is that it came with this AMS setup on top, so you can run different types of filament, different colors, and even support materials in there. It will automatically access those different spools, and you can make just a ton of different stuff. All right, so for a million years, 3D printers were either super hard to deal with, super hard to put together, and super expensive. This thing is none of those things. We had this up and running inside of like an hour. It's very decently affordable, and you can do a million things with it. Like if you have a little shop and you want to do rapid prototyping, it doesn't get any better than this. This thing will print, basically the build envelope is like around 10 inches cubed, so you can build all sorts of things that will work on a car. Barb went to work immediately modeling out. This is the British flange from the Aston Martin that you could never find literally anywhere. You'd have to make it, so he was able to make that, and we started testing different elbows and different angles and printing them all. It's going to be a two-piece that's going to get glued together, and what's really cool is this is what we've gotten to at this point. This has this nice big radius. It's a big thick tube, and we are getting really close to having this thing bolt right into the car, which is wicked awesome. We didn't love the fitment on this intake flange itself, so we just reprinted it, and I'm going to pull it out. You can see it's a two-piece design where the throttle body goes and the pipe is all radius together. This is super strong, but it's going to epoxy together here, and we didn't love the fitment on it. One of the zeros was off on the programming or something, so the new piece just got printed up. I'm going to pull this sucker out. This is one of the best parts. Listen. Put this back in and see how this fits. So that will come in here, and that fits like a glove. So with a two-part epoxy, that will become super strong. And we are going to run this week. We're going to run this piece. It's going to fire up. It's not going to leak, and it's going to put the throttle body exactly where we need it, I think. Let's go check it out. So here we go. That fits just in there like that. There is about 3/8 or so of an inch of clearance on the shock tower. It looks perfect. Plenty of room for an air filter. That's 5 millimeters or so, I think, for everybody that's not in America. And this piece, we'll glue it together, we'll epoxy it up. It's going to be our prototype, but we'll be able to use it for fire up this week, which is awesome. We will do some kind of support on the end of it because the throttle body has weighs a little bit, but there's some bosses right here. We'll do a quick brace, and this thing is ready to rock. All right, I grabbed a couple of little Allens. I got this thing bolted up. It's supporting its own weight. It looks awesome in there. If you want to go out and join the 3D printing revolution, you can go to the link in my description right now. Get yourself a Bamboo X1C or one of their many other printers according to your needs. But this has totally already kind of revolutionized the way I think about things and the way that we're going to do stuff here at Stay Tuned. I'm pumped. What's up, baby? How you doing? All right, so Zach just showed up. Some of his ZZ topless, his car is a convertible, his drag car. Merch right there, there's some tight stickers. And he brought some cold snacks. He's gonna spin some wrenches with him, but I gotta show him the thing I just picked up, and I'll show you guys too. Let me get the keys. All right, so I have been talking about selling a bunch of cars, and I have sold some cars. I sold the 74 El Camino a week and a half ago to a local guy. Came up, picked it up, said his dad had an El Camino when they were kids. They'd worked on it together. Super stoked, took it, hit the road. That thing was super solid. And then this week, I sold the RX-7 to a guy named Brian. He showed up 3 generations. Grandpa Tom, Brian, and his son Sully, who's 14. Guys came up from Tennessee and bought the V8 RX-7. And when they were here, unbeknownst to little Sully, who's 14 or 15, Brian, his dad, was like, "This is for you, dog. Like, here you go." And he was pumped. I think a little taken back. They took it for a rip. They had a blast. They were stoked on it. He's a big RX-7 guy, and he had that, the small block powered car. Now, I have been looking for a rotary turbo 2nd gen RX-7 forever, and it took me 2.5 days or whatever to find one. That money was burning a hole in my pocket because this beauty just popped up on the old marketplace yesterday, and I had to run out and grab it. This is basically what I had as like a 19, 20-year-old when I was in Doylestown, street porting and putting big turbos on rotaries in Chris Forsberg's barn when we were kids. and absolutely terrorizing the Pennsylvania streets. And I've been looking for something similar ever since. The white RX-7 was just too far off to rebuild and turn into something halfway decent. And this popped up. This is an 87 real turbo too. So turbo's got the best everything: suspension, brakes, big drivetrain, tougher transmission. They're 2-rotor single turbo. Stock, they make about 190 horsepower. This one is a little different. I'm gonna show you. But just look at this thing. Look how clean it is. They got better seats. They got better interior. The turbo's got everything good. So I was not trying to buy a car this week, but I wanted one of these for so long, and I'm so excited about it. And they're just really, really hard to find. I had 6 of these as a kid. So this is basically what I would do to the car anyway, and what we did as kids. Street ported 2-rotor. When you do a big port on a rotary, it's like adding cams and heads at the same time. It changes the timing of the intake and the exhaust and the flow. So it really opens them up. Big TO4 turbo, plus an aftermarket ECU. This is a Haltech. So instead of 180 horsepower, this is probably more like 380, if I had to guess. And she's a ripper. And it's been repainted. It's very solid, almost no rust I could find anywhere. And a dude was just selling it to get some money to buy stuff for his RX-2. And I was like, I'm your guy. And so a dude named Anthony, best dude ever to deal with buying a car, and this thing is just the greatest. The best. All right, I'm gonna take it for a rip. Let's do it. Let's warm it up. Let's get it. He's no more, you know, he's got 2-stroke in the tank, so it smells like a dirt bike. So it's pretty cool.
Oh.
She ripped this thing. Zach will tell you. It's bad. She bad. It's so good. It is probably the nicest one I've ever had, and it's so fun. It makes a ton of power, linear, pulls like a freight train up top. I gave Zach the rotary experience. So good.
What do you think?
Yeah. It is. Everyone that's been in it, like Barb was like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And then you like hit $7 grand, and he's like, oh, he's
yeah,
like,
it was like going. I was like, oh yeah, it's fast. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fast. It's really fast. It's still going fast.
Yes, we are trying to get our bell housing on so we can put it on our T56. Barb spec'd out a pilot bearing for this puppy off of a BMW.
Yeah, 318 IS or something, like a
We're doing
98.
a V12 Aston swap.
It's millimeters. We had to switch
32,
the caliper
it's
over.
32 by 15 by 10.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah. Crushed it.
What's the car?
98.
Honestly, you're
98.
never, it doesn't matter. You're never going to buy one of these. Don't worry about it. But we have figured out it's...
It slides on. It slides on and it slides in. We just
but
need
it's
to
not
know
gonna
if it's
slide-
too...
It's not.
Yeah.
It's going to not be far enough, right? Well, wait. Hold on a minute.
Oh,
We have measured the tip, but we should measure the shank at the base. You got to measure from the base.
cheating yourself.
Yeah, you're cheating yourself. You got to measure from the base.
That checks out.
Absolutely.
Base.
You got to measure from the base because it doesn't have to sit all the way out here. It can sit in there. So what is the furthest in it can go and still work? Because I think we might be in the ballpark. It doesn't have to sit here.
This
It
keeps
can
going.
sit there. You know what I mean?
I know exactly, but you know.
Got it.
It's a lot of math.
Thank God I got out when I did.
You good there?
They so
We did all that math, but just to check it out, we put the bell housing on here. We have the pilot bearing
Oh,
sent
we need it longer.
home. Just get a tape measure,
Yep.
and we're gonna check it.
5.5. Yep.
Yeah, I knew it.
Incredible.
Fine. Dude, it's
It's right there.
right there.
Yeah. We're dialed.
Okay, perfect.
Beautiful.
wow.
I knew it. All right, so we're making real progress. We can install one of the key components we've been waiting for so very long. This is a fully custom twin plate clutch and flywheel that Centerforce was kind enough to make for us and even engraved "Stay Tuned" in here, which is pretty wicked. They took on this project a while ago. It is a proper twin plate with a center friction floater disc. It is ceramic metallic. They say if I break this, the dude from Centerforce will come out and personally change it. Because I was like, give me a full metal disc. I'm ready to party. And he was like, you won't break this. And I was like, we'll see.
That's a challenge.
Anyway, super appreciate it. This is a killer piece. It's not sprung, so it should be plenty strong and at least won't have a spring failure. The coolest thing is, it's drilled like a sport bike rotor, which is pretty wicked. Never seen that before in my life. We're gonna get this up and into the car, and that'll be the last time we deal with the pilot bearing or this clutch, hopefully, for a very long time, so I'm stoked. Here you go, Bart.
Fire me up, dude.
It's a billet, beautiful flywheel. Very cool.
All right, putting this flywheel on.
Do it.
For the last time.
We're proud of you.
Did you see that slide on there?
Yes.
Ooh.
Beautifully
Boy.
machined. Perfect tolerances.
I think that's the one. Run these in and then we'll torque them up.
Cool. Good.
Yes, sir.
Rock and roll. Awesome. As we talked about this before, this is a big, like building a big hamburger, more like a Big Mac. Friction plate. This is one of the meat patties. This is that center bun. That's the dual friction. This is a friction plate on both sides. I wiped it down with acetone. We wiped that down with acetone. These are balanced, so you're gonna find some kind of pen or dyed marking on there. One on the flywheel itself, one on the floater plate, and then there will be one on the clutch pressure plate cover. So.
Can you make me a sandwich?
I'm about to. I'm starving. Are you hungry again?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Getting there. So, try not to touch anything there.
Nice. I'll
Get
get
that
you the
puppy
next.
on
I'll
there.
get you the next piece of sandwich here.
You can also, they really marked it really. This is floater side. I'm coming in with this.
Zach wants to get in here. It's clutch time. Bring that.
There you go.
Yeah, get in there.
I'll wipe that down too.
Barb!
I got you. That burn.
Anything that is a metal friction material, like a friction plate,
Wipe it down.
wipe it down because they ship it with a little oil coating on it so it doesn't rust and you don't want it. It's gonna make problems. I need to hold this. Barb, throw it up there. That's gonna be marked for balance 2. So find your thing.
Where's your mark?
Up here.
On top. Got it?
Yep. You don't have to worry about the actual friction discs because they spin, so they're not marked for balance. There you go. And then make sure this puppy's kind of in the center.
Can you get
Try not
that?
to drop the hardware.
Especially in the
When you bolt it up,
kitty litter.
pull it all in straight. Especially, this is not a forged pressure plate, this is a stamped one. So they have a tendency to be a little wonkier pulling in, so make sure you pull it nice and flat. Barb!
What? Why are you yelling at me?
Me?
Why are you yelling at
You
me?
put the f***ing flywheel on.
Yeah, but this is your show.
This is your show.
God.
Okay, we're in. We got a thing. Push up. Yep, there we go. That's the one.
Are they the ones with the washers?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, give me a wiggle, Barb.
You're a little low.
I think we got to go up with the car.
Yep. All right,
Yeah,
grab
hit it
the
on the
front
lift. Give me a bump on the lift. There you go, more.
Yep.
That's about it. Okay. That's it.
It's in.
Keep going. Give me wiggles. Cool. All right, transmission is in with the clutch. Everything went in pretty easily. So we've got that QuickTime bell housing, the custom Centerforce flywheel, and twin plate clutch worked beautifully with our American powertrain Tremec T56, all brand new, ready to rock. We're gonna put in the cross member that we had dialed in. We have this adjustable cross member that's pretty cool from Stifler's Performance, which is pretty rad. Because you have this ability to move it around. It's
Pretty cool. Pretty tight.
All right, stick it in, Barb.
Say less. slotted these holes for this transmission cross member. That is not the right hardware here, but we are almost there.
Awesome. So we've got the T56 in there. The V12 is looking good. It actually spins now. It's been a really big day. We're going to keep on thrashing. The guys from Hang Tight are here. They're wiring gurus. They're going to help us get this thing fired up tomorrow. But as of right now, we're going to pass out. It's been a long and very productive day. Feeling good. All right, we are back in today and super pumped because that V12 Aston Martin powered Foxbody Mustang that we're calling, I don't know, Foxton Martin. I can't remember what we called it. There's a bunch of names. We're going to find one. But it's going to fire up today, mostly with the help of the guys from Hang Tight. Tyson is here. He built this insane wiring harness for the car. As we've said already, 12 cylinders.
A lot of stuff.
It's a lot of cylinders. Maybe too many, but he took on the challenge of figuring all of this out, and just with a bunch of detailed wiring and schematics from Barb, built this remotely in Canada. So we're gonna see.
Never seen the car until this morning.
What do you think?
So I'm shocked it fits.
All right, we are gonna get cracking here, lay the wiring in, get the headers back in the car, and just thrash through until we hear this thing sing. I'm super pumped. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on. Coffee too. All right, so we have pulled the intake manifolds off. Tyson and Terrence are from Hang Tight. If you remember the electronic power steering system that we put in the 911 that was absolutely killer and like 1/8 of the cost of the factory GT3 system, and does the same exact thing. So super cool. And they were able to make us this harness because they sell like, how many hundreds?
1,800 SKUs of connectors.
Yeah, so tons of OEM connectors. Look, you're looking for Ford/Aston Martin coil connectors. Like, they've got that. You can build harnesses anytime it's hard to find stuff. They've got all of that stuff on there, and they're an ECU Master dealer. So it all kind of just worked together to build us what was just an impossible to find solution to how to run this thing.
Yeah,
These guys figured it out. So we're stoked. Barbie's going to start getting the exhaust system on there. Tyson is on the computer. He's doing
nerd things, yeah.
doing nerd stuff over there, and we're going to get rocking. I'm very excited about this. This has been a year in the making, almost 2 years in the making.
Welding up these V-bands on these collectors. We're gonna get this exhaust done.
Talk
in
dirty
the
to
car.
me. Hell yeah.
Final time.
Fire me up, dude. I might shed a tear later.
Yeah.
So we're putting knock sensors in, and one thing, like, just they're put on motor mounts, which is not actually where you want them. And on the other side, there's an oil filter in the way to put it even further away from where we want it to go. So, but the nice thing is the ECU has gain settings, so even though it's closer to the front of the engine, it can still hear the back cylinders, and you can tune in so it knows which ignition event is happening, and it knows, like, you change the gain per cylinder is essentially what it can do.
Yeah.
So if it's knocking on any cylinder, it'll hear it.
And we're running the ECU Master EMU Pro 16, which is an incredibly powerful, although very compact computer. So this has basically the main limiting factors of aftermarket computers are the drivers for the injectors and the coils, and how you have to sort of use them to run something, and to run 12 cylinders
There's not that many
sequentially.
ECUs.
There are very few ECUs that can do it, and this one can do it.
And dual drive-by-wire.
Dual drive-by-wire, which is, again, is incredibly, it needs to be incredibly powerful to do that. And this little guy can do it, which is we're very excited about. And you guys are super familiar with the ECU Master's product.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with the product line.
So you've had great
This
success with
is fairly new for them. I think this has only been out for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And they just released, like, the point of this ECU is to do direct injection, and they just finished that. But this will do 12 cylinders, no problem.
That's
16 on port if you want to do a V8 and add 2 of them.
Yeah,
And we support it.
yeah, wild.
And even further, we could look at this in a minute, but this engine is completely split plenums, so
Yeah.
there's no single map source, and that kind of makes the how to make this thing run the engine a little complicated. But the software in this is so flexible. You can make any axis whatever value you want. You can run compensations however you want. So basically we're going to run 2 map sensors, and the main bank is going to do the one, almost similar to how the dual ECU
Yeah,
thing
originally
works.
this was tuned with 2 completely separate computers. There's 2 crank signals, 2 cam sensors, 2 maps, and it
2
would run.
inline.
Yeah, and it would just run them totally separately. But we're gonna more or less pick up everything from one side and then run both sides of the motor with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're basically going to run like a second map sensor and a second intake temp sensor and just compensate if one bank is different from the other.
Yeah, so it'll be more or less like, you both do the same thing, but I'll check on this one.
Yeah, I'll
And
keep
if you're-
tabs on you.
Keep tabs on you, and if you need a little bit different fueling, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to install the new fuel system that we got from Holley. They actually make an entire system for the Foxbody chassis. There's no thinking about it. It's got all the lines, the regulator, Foxbody tank, everything you'll need. Vents, new vents, grommets, seals. Makes it very simple. It comes with a 340 gallon per hour pump. This will be plenty to support the 450-ish horsepower we're going to be making with this thing. It's got set up so you can run a -6 or -8 AN lines into this thing. It's a very trick piece. And I've never seen one for just a full chassis before. This is super straightforward. I don't think I'll be able to screw it up. Let's find out.
While these dudes are jamming on the car, I fit up the headers real quick because when we built them, we never put on the little tabs that hold the slip fit connectors in. We also, as Tony mentioned before, lost them because we haven't touched this car for a year. So I spent like an hour, reluctantly. I made 10 of these little steel tab pieces with a bolt through them that bolt the slip fits together. So like I put one on there. That one's welded up. So I'm gonna put one more on this one, and then I have the other set of runners. I also welded in the O2 bung on this side. Once this side's done, I'll bolt it in the car, pull the other header out, do the same thing, weld another O2 bung on, put it in the car, and the exhaust will be done.
For the last time.
For the last time. I'm not doing this twice. I'm doing this today.
All right, the Canadian boys are here. We have to blow their minds with the best Pennsylvania pizza around. I went out to Tornetta's. I got a smoking and drinking. I got a proper cheesesteak, and I got a chicken cutlet sandwich, and I think you're gonna be very stoked. Yeah. So I would say eat some of it and some garlic naan. So dig in.
Is there an order you want us to go in?
Here, I'm just gonna give you
Yeah,
some
you just
slices.
feed
And
us.
be honest, it took me a little while. I had to pick up some fittings too, so it's probably not smoking hot. But dig in. This is smoked mozzarella and a vodka sauce.
Cheers or something?
Cheers our pizzas.
Yeah, do like arm in arm thing. Yeah, you got it.
I gotta fold it.
Also, we haven't fed them in like 8 hours, so they're pretty hungry.
It's a good pie.
Meets the hype.
Man,
This is why you guys are a pizza team.
it's pretty good, right?
That's really good.
line.
That's banging.
Well,
We approve.
Let's get a score.
I put it in my top 5 ever,
Yeah.
but it's harder to be more accurate than that.
that's fair.
8.7 out of 10.
I probably put it. Yeah.
That's really good.
They make a killer cheesesteak too. So dig in. These are Philly cheesesteaks. Shouldn't
We haven't had
have weird green peppers on it. Don't call it a Philly. Just take a bite.
Philly cheesesteak.
Seeded roll is
Oh
crucial.
my goodness. Oh man.
Compared to yesterday?
We didn't have Philly cheesesteak yesterday.
Yeah, they did. These are, should
That's
be
really
better.
good. They never get old.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna cram this in our bellies and then get back out on that Foxbody. So I've got all the new parts in the Holley tank, the pump and the pickup, that whole hat is in there, all the new grommets and the vent, but we have to reuse our fuel level sender. They're separate on a Foxbody, and I'm trying to dig. I'm on like a, I don't know, Indiana Jones kind of archaeological dig here. Raiders of the Lost fuel level. I don't know. It's not going great. I'm gonna try to get it out of here. If not, it might just get a plate, and then we'll just have to guess about the fuel. I'll get underneath it and hit it and just see how it sounds. But Tyson's got a really cool wiring loom tip for you right now while I do this. Don't mind the hammering.
So to share a little tip that I learned, actually funny enough, taking apart Ford Mustangs when I was younger, is this is how they do their looming to keep the loom from just falling all over the place. Alrighty, so basically what they do to keep the loom from moving around is you put the tape on the wire first, and the direction of how this comes out of the loom is important. And then you do it over the top. Do it a couple times, and there you go. Now it don't move. Thanks, Ford.
Peace.
Maybe, maybe, maybe.
Oh,
Come on.
he even saves the gasket.
Soft hands.
There you go. Awesome. It is a big moment here. I'm about to install the ADU7 ECU Master's dash. This is fully programmable. You can put all sorts of crazy graphics on it, but also like it's great for racing. But if you want to have a street car, you can have turn signals, fuel gauge, anything you need. And we reached out to the guys at Reversion Raceworks. We used their dash install kit in my C5 for my Holly dash, and it looks amazing. Clean everything up, and they make one for the Foxbody, but not for the ECU Master dash, and they actually made this for us, so we super appreciate it. It's a killer setup. Instead of trying to like mount it out in front of your stock gauges, this will just go in place of everything and clean it all up. We are getting close. This feels good. I'm super excited. Should we run an exhaust? Should we not? I don't know. First time. What do we think? Is this open header? Could be open header.
Kind of gets me fired.
I mean, like, do we want to hear this thing or do we want to hear this thing? I guess it's probably, we'll just let how late at night it is dictate it. Before midnight, no mufflers. After midnight, mufflers. Yeah, just like that. That's it. Bezel's on, looking super trick. That is awesome. Wicked.
What?
Wicked. All right, I'm gonna screw it down now. As I find some screws. There we go. All right, so we are getting the headers on for the last time on the passenger side. Driver's side's on already. We had to make a couple of adjustments with a hammer and a torch to clear the starter a little bit better. I think we're good. Barb, you gonna send that thing up?
We're gonna put the battery cable on.
Oh, are we doing that? Tyson's gonna whip us up a 2-gauge battery cable, so because the clearance is that tight around the solenoid, and so fingers crossed it goes on, and then we'll be that much closer. Then it is just fuel system, elbows, and a bunch more wiring, and this thing's gonna fire right off. That's it, right?
No. Yep.
No, yep.
Yep. You're good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because it's, boy, is it close to that starter solenoid. Good thing this thing is manual, because that starter is going to get smoked at some point. So. All right, sweet. So we've got the headers in for good.
Yep.
A little bit of hammering on that side saved our butts. There's plenty of starter clearance. That's awesome. We realized that these rails are completely independent. Everything about this motor is like 2 6-cylinders, 100%. And we like to run fuel injection setup like this. In and out of the fuel rails, let's say you have a V8, you run a crossover line. It goes, the feed line comes from the pump into the back of, let's say, fuel rail A. It goes across out of fuel rail B, then we run that into the regulator, and it is regulated and returned. That keeps everything super consistent. It works really well. You can do the deadhead system, but we realize is these two fuel rails are not connected at all. So we have a problem. We can't run it like that. We could run a Y and just run it basically what they call deadheaded. Hand me that thing.
Yep.
So the fuel pump would come in here, this is your return, and then we'd come out of the regulated line and deadhead it or Y it into both of these rails. And you get into all sorts of weird things with that. There's like, you know, resonance or harmonics or whatever you want to call it, stuff rushing back and pressure waves rushing back and forth. It's just not going to be as consistent. So we've realized that whatever these big wonky sensors are, if we pull those off and drill these out, we're going to make our own crossover tube. So Barb is going to take a couple of Earl's GM stainless fittings and weld it. Basically, we're going to chop it off, obviously, but it's going to fit right on there. Weld it, and then we'll run a sub line so that the fuel will come into this line, into this rail, then go into the passenger side rail. They'll stay basically full, happy, and consistent, and then we'll come out of that rail into the regular and back, and it's not going to get any better than that. So that's the deal. We have to take the rails off, open up these holes a little bit, but they will be plenty big to make the kind of flow we need, which is awesome. All right, let's get cut, grind,
They're pretty
and
big rails for factory rails, especially this guy.
Yeah,
That's a log.
it sure is. It sure is.
All right. Sorry, Tyson. Here we go.
It is time update. Thursday night, 9 p.m. This video comes out in 20 hours.
And it will fire.
Yeah, you're going to hear it soon. We're getting there. Headers are on. We'll throw the Y pipes and maybe not the mufflers. I feel like we shouldn't bother.
Subs.
A little bit more. After the fuel
think we're
system's
fine.
done, we'll be rocking. We're going to
That's
pull
totally
these
fine.
out, hand these to Barb, and then I'm going to throw the tank that I've got ready to rock back up in the car.
10, right? Here.
So these are later rails I bought off of eBay for like $300 with injectors. That was a steal. And they have these sensors on them. It's some kind of electrical sensor that's also got a like a vacuum port.
Yeah, I Googled them earlier, and they're temperature and fuel pressure, and they are manifold referenced for some reason.
You know what do we need them for?
We don't.
Nothing. Perfect. Good. We're going to take them out, and we're going to use them to do the cross flow across the rails. Holes are a little small. We may probably open them up, but they're going to be just fine. All right, so let's get chopping.
Looks pretty precision to me.
No talking, just looking good. Barb has the fuel rails welded up. They are cooling. Terrence and I are going to throw up this Holley tank. I said at some point that this is all one kit. I think it's really two kits. Correct me if I'm wrong, Barb. The tank itself is one kit, and then they have a Foxbody plumbing kit that is the regulator and the lines and absolutely everything. So all comes from Holley, but it's more than one kit. We have.
Got one bolt on the table.
I'll get one. This doesn't.
One strap would be good.
This doesn't weigh a dang thing. It's gonna be right here. The big fight's gonna be the filler neck, I think.
Yeah. It's straight.
Yeah, give it a shove, and I'll wiggle, or give a wiggle, and I'll. That's it. That's it.
Come on. It's in
That's
there?
it. That's it.
Oh.
All right, now just.
A little lube. Is that all?
That's it.
You're fine. Oh yeah, that's. All right, we have this thing wired up. We have it fuel plumbed. We are rocking and rolling here. I'm putting on Barb's 3D printed intake elbows right now. And we are very close to getting it fired up, which is great because it's after midnight. And this is going to be wicked. I'm so excited. This has been a really long time coming. This is pretty, it's kind of a big day here. You know, we've really bit off a lot with this one. This was kind of like a wild what-if dream project. Can we get it done? Can we make it work? It's been a year plus. I'm very excited. This is kind of a big moment. All right, Tyson is in there. He's got the computer powered up, and he's starting to go through the checks, update the firmwares, and make sure that this thing is ready to go. We've got a couple mechanical things left. We want to prime this thing with oil. We want to put a little bit of fluid in the transmission. And that's it on our end. I'm stoked. Stoked. There we go. Awesome. Now comes the fun part. We've got Barb's 3D printed elbows on here holding those throttle bodies. Tyson is going through all of the outputs now. This computer is powerful enough to just run the different things, the injectors and the coils and stuff. You want to run? Can I get an injector pull? Listen for 12. Yeah. 12. That's it. 12. So that's working. Sounds good. This thing looks insane. Fuel's plumbed. All we have to do is make sure we got coils firing. We have to pre-lube the motor with oil, fill it up with engine oil, and then cross our fingers and let it fly. Oh, that's the sound.
Ooh,
Oh.
that was what we were looking for.
Let me see it.
Right
Let me
on
see those
line.
things. Hit it. Late
Don't ask
or
questions
early,
you don't
depending
wanna
on
answer.
how you want to look.
10:30 Pacific time.
Yeah, however you want to look at it. It's either late or pretty early. Remember like a month ago, I was like, we're just going to take it easy and crank out what we can do every week and not try to get, I was wrong. This is it. We're cranking it all night long. Stay tuned. Burning the candle at both ends now because I want to see this thing fire up. And also, we've gotten so much done. And this car has gone from a pretty fun idea to about to fire up. So it's been a haul, but I'm so pumped. All right. Tyson's in there trying to program the drive-by-wire throttle bodies that are like the dirt cheapest ones Barb could buy online. So I don't know if they're the problem or what's going on yet, but we're rocking. That one's doing something. Probably point the camera at that.
Ooh,
What's it doing?
that's spicy. Whatever that was. Just doing some clicky clicks.
It's grumbling. All right.
Who was that one?
Is this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me playing with things. It's
Alright.
me playing with things.
Yeah, I've got our Speedway pre-lube machine here. If you remember the first time we had a 4-valve built motor in the Lincoln that we really liked, we didn't pre-lube it and it exploded on the dyno. So I'm gonna try to never make that mistake again. Barb was able to take a plug out the back of the head that has some dinosaur juice on it. So we think this is the place to be. And this is full of Castrol's finest. 3 quarts. This thing takes 11 liters without a filter. Seems like a lot. Got it?
So it'll either be the thumbnail or the...
Yeah, Titan's gonna bump it. Bump that starter a couple times. Here we go. Come on. She's moving. All right.
Tell me when.
Go ahead. Bump it a couple more times. That sounds like an engine. A very angry one.
I'd say a heavy one.
Heavy one, yeah. All right, bump it again. Oil's flowing.
Oh,
That sounds better? Yeah. It's got a tough spot in it still.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah, it's got a very small amount of oil pressure now.
Okay.
Hey!
We'll take it.
I'll bump it again.
Yeah, go ahead. Sometimes they got to move the flow.
I think I just got my 12th win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
What is it, September? I feel great.
I'm so excited I gotta pee.
He's got to pee.
Give me some more bumps.
One more bump?
Yeah.
Just a taste.
Oh.
God, that sounds good.
Oh, she sounds like
I think
a
it's just-
car.
Whoa, whoa.
I think it just reported RPM too, which is fantastic news.
We are close. We are very close. All right, let's fill it up with oil. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We have been messing, Tyson mostly, with recalibrating and repinning and recurving both of our drive-by-wire throttle bodies. We got the cheapest knockoff Chinesium throttle bodies known to man, and they have been fighting us for a long time. We have a very large and very reliable Summit one that we plug in and works. But Tyson has, I don't know, done a bunch of voodoo, and now
It's 3 a.m. I don't know. What
they
I did.
have both passed their calibration. They have graduated with honors, and if he hits the throttle, they open up. Look at that! Look at that thing!
2 of them.
Incredible. At the same time,
Oh, I'm having a meltdown.
sick.
Dude.
That's so good. Come on, give me some pumps.
Oh.
Sick. Incredible. Incredible.
Incredible.
All right, it is 3:22. We have fuel injectors clicking and throttle bodies opening and no spark. Also, we have to figure out if this thing's at the proper base timing. So, intake manifold's coming off. We're gonna get to the coils, put a lead on one, and hook it up to the timing line and see what it's doing. So, thought these were smart coils. They're dumb coils. We're dumb coils. We got it figured out, I think.
When I remember to plug everything in, that is.
Yeah. We're going to plug it in and run the driver. We are.
Hey.
Yep, how about that? Pap, pap. Those are big, beautiful sparks. Give me one more. Yeah, you can see them.
Kind of orange.
You got it?
Is that more blue? In theory, it should be, but by 20 milliseconds, the coil is like not going to do any better than that.
Okay.
So the next question is, what's our battery voltage?
Oh.
I don't know.
That thing bumped over this engine pretty healthy, though.
That was a long, long time ago. We were young men then. It was a whole different world.
Let's, I guess, hook that up, figure out if the timing light works.
Yeah. Got this thing all torn apart. We have the MSD light and a little LS wire so we can actually pick up the timing. We're just trying to set the offset so that when the computer says this motor's at top dead center, the motor's actually at top dead center. So give us a crank. This mark here is TDC. So we're just watching for the flash.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, hit me. I mean, it's right on now.
Sweet.
We've been messing with it for a minute.
Guess the number.
What is it?
69.
69? Yeah, that's the offset.
One more time.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
We did it.
Offset angle, 69 degrees. Correct.
All right. Let's fire this thing up.
Yep. All right, it doesn't matter. 4:19 in the morning, and we are going to try to fire this puppy up for the first time ever. Almost 2 years in the making. This motor's been sitting for 15, maybe 18 years, maybe more. We're going to light this thing off with the help of the hang tight dudes with that ECU Master's computer. I'm pumped. I'm seeing the dash for the first time. It looks insane. Our Stay Tuned logo is on there. This is wicked.
Red ones.
Are we all energized and ready to rock?
Yeah.
This is it?
This is it.
Fuel pump?
Give me fuel.
Do need fuel pump.
Oh, all right, I'm gonna have to hold it.
Come on, baby.
Come on.
Come on. You ready?
Yeah, do the thing. We'll see how much fuel it wants or doesn't want.
Here we go.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Something? You got to put that jumper box on there, please.
Yeah.
See, we need a little more spin.
Like that, any better or worse?
Okay.
Okay, fuel.
Good.
Yep.
Take two. Here we go.
Oh boy. All of a sudden I want hearing protection.
Okay.
Ready? Ready? Here we go. Let's try it. That sounds like something. Okay. Sounds to me like the timing is out of whack and it's slowing the motor down instead of speeding it up.
Feels like it's stopping it. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm gonna go like,
So you need advance it like 20,
yeah,
Okay. Fuel.
slightly over 20.
or maybe let's see what it does.
Whoa!
Now we might have a lot of fuel.
Go ahead.
Boop.
That sounds better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You going more?
I'm gonna add like, yeah, a couple more.
Yeah.
Okay, fuel.
You're gonna have to breathe her a little bit now.
That might have been too far.
Oh.
So this thing doesn't want to fire. It's closing in on 5 a.m. We're getting delirious. We don't think the timing is right. I don't know. We don't know if the firing order is right. We've found ones for a later Aston. It's really hard to find them.
AI claims it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Which is probably not it.
Can't wait for
I went and found something on like one of these answer sites. A guy named JagMaster says it's 1A, 6B, 5A, 2B. I don't know, man. but he's like, you measured the banks by like one side is A and one side is B. We're gonna decode that into our cylinder numbering thing and try to send it. Right?
Yep.
Hold on. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Get the out of here. Yes! JagMaster! JagMaster! Incredible.
That JagMaster guy.
That guy knows what he's talking about.
Man,
All right, give me another one. Let's get this thing running.
praise the internet for random answer form.
JagMaster, you are the king. I gotta hear this thing run.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, bud.
Oh.
Starts up instantly. That was crazy. This is sick. Give it a bunch of fuel.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I don't have any lambda, so I'm still trying to see what I can.
Double it. Double it and send it to the next guy. Come on.
It achieved 1,000 RPM.
Yeah. So did my heart. Let's go.
Added fuel, added some throttle body blade on idle. Let's see what we get.
Here we go. I'm like floored.
Hey?
I was like floored to keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's running.
You can-
this
you
thing
can-
runs. I need to hear some like running.
I think he's working on it.
He is. Well, we're sure we have it right now, right? The firing order, because I was like floored to keep it going. Keep it rocking. Come on.
Also
Here we go.
thrilled that my kill button works. So
He's
that
a
was,
runner.
Fuel.
Trash and Martin. Fox and Martin. There we go. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh, buddy.
Yes.
I was like, keep it going, keep it going. He's like in there on the keys. Tighten on the keys like,
Yeah, I was
more
like,
fuel,
I'm
less
like-
fuel.
I'm like watching
How
the
did-
amount of smoke come out of here, thinking, at what point do I have, like, do I call this?
You just
But-
run. It's starting to come alive, man.
Yeah.
That thing sounds.
Yeah, and it shockingly it wanted more fuel, so I might have some base thing wrong. Honestly, the injectors are probably not close to what I think they are. But,
Okay.
But I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I now smell like gasoline and exhaust fumes.
Can we do one more? Give me one more.
We'll do one more.
Let's do more.
Just one.
Give me more.
No water pump, no alternator.
I know.
Ready?
Yeah.
But like, we're somewhere. I feel like just make it. Yeah.
Ready?
Come on. Yes!
That actually starts to sound like something.
Sounds
when
like
it,
something now, boy.
Yeah.
Holy.
Wow.
Okay, I need fresh air.
Yeah, I can't breathe.
Is anything on
Runs. Sounds
fire?
sick. That's amazing. All right, this has been an insane week. My Aston Martin V12 powered Mustang runs. This has been a crazy haul. Huge thanks to the guys from Hang Tight, Tyson and Terrence were amazing at helping us get this thing fired up. ECUMaster computer, making it all work, just wicked. That is it for this episode of Stay Tuned. We're gonna keep working on this thing. I'm so pumped. I gotta get it. I want it running better. I want it driving. We're gonna keep on rocking. We'll see you guys next time. Sick. Sick.